Hello, welcome to the virtual picture. My name's Ashley. In this second video, just going to show you the results of the 360-degree picture that we took from the first video. I have already set up some of this, so I actually dragged the information over from the memory card in the actual camera itself, which is here within something called a raw image status here. Then I'm just going to use some specific software which is provided by the camera itself and the company that make the camera, just to edit those pictures to create this 360-degree picture. It's an automated system, but what I'm going to do is just click on process here. As you can see, the status bar is now processing. We spoke about in the previous video about HDR, and I said that this camera can take up to HDR9. I won't go through to HDR in any more detail in this video, but as you can see, there are 9 exposures, so we are on HDR9. This processing will take about 5 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do is just speed this video up and we'll come back to it when it's done. Okay, those pictures have now all been processed, so I'm just going to clear this list off here. I can close this program now as it's not needed. As you can see, if I double click on immersive images, I've now got a flat picture within here. This is a 360-degree picture, but it is just a flat image. I don't know if you watched my previous video, but I did say I wanted to limit the movement from myself within that video, otherwise we're going to get some ghosting or double imaging. We have, of course, got that, but I was so close to the camera, it's pretty much unavoidable. But what you can see, even just from this flat image, it's nicely exposed throughout. But what we want to do is actually look at this as a 360-degree picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this document over to another program. First of all, I need to move it from my Windows software that I'm using here onto my Mac. I'm running some Parallels software here. Basically, to edit the pictures in their raw status, I need to use some Windows software, but to actually edit the pictures themselves into a virtual tour and 360-degree pictures, I prefer to use my Mac software. So let's close that down. That's now on my desktop over here, so immersive images there. And what I'm going to do is open up a program called Panotour Pro. There's a few different editing pieces of software in the industry that you can create virtual tours from, but Panotour Pro is pretty much known to be the best one out there. And that's what we use. It has actually just recently been purchased by the company GoPro, and GoPro are quite well known for creating those cameras that are used for extreme videos. But I've already set up, I just pointed the directions here to the desktop here in video for website itself, but I need to actually bring over the picture itself. So I'm just going to very quickly do that. It's on my desktop in immersive images here. There's the picture itself, as you can see, a flat picture. I open that up and that brings that into my working area. And this is where I actually do create a virtual tour from here. As I said, I've got the build area over here. I've already set it up for the file names itself. I'm just going to click on build. I'm doing this incredibly quickly just to give you an idea of what's happening, and that's processing down there. And what you can see here is just one panorama here, so this will be done very quickly. Over here you can actually see that it's we've set it up here to be used for desktop devices, mobile devices in Flash and HTML5. Basically means any virtual tour that we create will be able to be used on any device and any platform. Right, I've actually built that now, so I'm going to click on play nice and quickly, and that will open up this picture within, because it's an HTML document within my browser, and I use Chrome here. So what we've got now is the picture. And if I just click and drag around, I can actually move around this picture. And as you'll see, is like I say, the close-up picture of me, I'm afraid, but you get the actual picture which has been stitched together. And you've got the mirror ball down here, which basically covers where the tripod was of the camera itself. But what you've got is a nicely exposed picture. I won't talk about HDR in too much detail here, but when I mentioned HDR, it's about the different exposures. And I gave you the example in my first video when I moved the camera around. As you can see, it's nicely exposed throughout this whole picture from the outdoors all the way to the indoors, because we took 9 different exposures in this one. Traditionally, when you actually create 360-degree pictures and virtual tours, you use a digital SLR camera, just as the one I used here to actually film me. I love SLR cameras, they take amazing pictures. But the problem is with these is because it's a single lens, as opposed to my camera which is 4 lenses, you then have to place this camera on a tripod and then within a specific cradle, so the camera stays in a central position, and then you maneuver that camera around to then take the various different shots. It's incredibly time consuming, and therefore a lot of companies out there do limit the number of pictures they can take. As I mentioned in my previous video, we can take pictures very, very quickly. The example I've given here is not to display the quality that can be produced with the camera that we've set up here, is to display the speed at which we can actually create one 360-degree picture. And if you watch my previous video again, like I say, it took about a minute to actually take this picture using the camera technology that we have here. To have a better example of the virtual tours that we do then go on to create, have a look at the portfolio section of my website. There it is, thevirtualpicture.com/portfolio, and I've got a few examples listed down here. Let me just click on the top one for argument's sake, and this is a fully created virtual tour for the company called Packed Coffee, based in southeast London. The panel tour actually here is actually going to start going automatically. I'm just going to pause it here. But what you can see, we've put interactive nodes in here so we can actually navigate around. So if you click on any of these, we'll move on to the next picture. If I scroll around here, I've actually embedded a video here so we can actually see it moving away. The company logo is up here. As you can see, I hover over it, open website, it'll actually open up the company's website. The navigational down here is in the branding of this company as well. Let me just quickly open up their website just to show you. Look, they're green and orange. Let's hope around here somewhere as well. They may have changed their website, but it's there. They've got some orange there as well. So I've branded this to their website, including this bar down here, the concentric circles that are moving around, and someone making some coffee here. So it's specifically designed for them. In this menu, I can click on this and we can actually go and view more of this business by clicking on that, or I can go around to the next pitch there using those circles as well. And what we've got is that this is a specifically created virtual tour for this company here, and it shows you the quality that we can create. Do hope you found this video interesting. If you haven't watched my first video, please do go back to and watch that one, because it'll make this one make a lot more sense. Thank you very much for watching.